but we have to be grounded in the truth of Scripture, and that has to be our standard, not what the world says, not what culture says.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
I want to be clear that, like, law enforcement isn't to prevent crime.
Anthony will lose his mind. Like, what a joke. You guys are a joke.
Begging for her life. Bang! Dead. Hurt people. What happened was horrible.
Are you insane?
Yeah, that doesn't make it right. Like, that's the thing.
He plunged a knife into someone's neck.
Remember that suspect is wanted for a deputy-involved shooting.
Who decided that the recruitment video was going to be us dancing?
The suspect gets on top of the other officer, steals his taser, and that's when your husband, who feared for his life and the life of the other officer, shot and killed the suspect.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Like, how are you fulfilling the mission of law enforcement? How are you fulfilling the mandate to praise those who are doing the right thing and to crush those who are doing the wrong thing? Hey everyone, Two Cops, One Call, Season 3, Episode 2. This is Gary, the man, the myth, the legend.
Okay. Good to see you, man.
I feel like sometimes we need to introduce ourselves because we just like start out and I'm like, if this is the first time anyone's watched the episode or listen, they're like, who are these goofballs? Who are these morons?
Yeah. I'm Gary, you're Anthony.
Yes, sir. So we're going to jump right into it.
Dude,
on
let's
this
do
episode. We're not going to mess around.
I mean, there's not a whole lot in the news to talk about.
Dude, this ICE thing, it just keeps giving us more and more things to talk about.
Like ICE in general?
Like what ICE is doing and the people who are losing their minds.
The responses
to
the federal government actually doing its job? Yeah,
the protesting and the rioting and the interfering with them and it's so interesting to me, and I continue to see these little tidbits that just kind of like are amusing to me. Like I just can't wrap my head around it. So right before we got on, we were talking about one of them, Tom Homan.
Yeah.
Right now, I think Trump calls him his border czar, but he's been in ICE. He's climbed through the ranks in ICE. Yeah. He's been involved in ICE for many years. So right now,
like decades.
Yeah. But right now, Tom Homan is
it Holman?
Homan?
Hole.
It's Homan. Homan.
Okay. Thanks for correcting me, Anthony. I always thought it was Holman.
With an L?
Yeah. But maybe my L's and N's are very similar. So
I'm here to help.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Tom Homan.
So yeah, Tom Homan.
I like listening to him, dude. He cracks me up.
Dude, here's a guy who is in charge. Like he's a law enforcement leader. Like in his agency, he is a law enforcement leader. And the guy gets it. He gets it. He understands the mission. He understands why they're doing what they're doing. And every time I listen to him speak and people are like, well, you're just going out and rounding people up. He's like, yeah, they're here illegally. It's against the law.
Yeah. It doesn't like beat around the bush.
Right.
It's just like.
And he also has experience to back it up. I've heard him tell a story. He tells a story, and every time I've heard him tell it, he gets kind of emotional during it, where he found people dead in the back of a truck. Like he was a boots on the ground. Like he came up through the ranks. So he didn't just get this position because he took some, master level classes and graduated, with a master's degree. He climbed through the ranks of law enforcement. He started out, I think, in NYPD.
Okay.
And then went to ICE and climbed the ranks and everything. So he's seen the horrors. He's seen the things, Right. And he tells a story about a 18-wheeler and finding a bunch of people and kids dead in the back of this as they were trying to get them across the border illegally, So he's seen that stuff, and he's like, open borders is not a good thing. It's not good for the people who are coming into the country. It's not good for our people. So he can speak intelligently and with past experience, with lived experience about like the horrors of what it really is.
So he's like a guy who actually deserves a spot at the table, and not only a spot at the table, but to be heard.
Yeah.
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 Right?
Hey,
Did you see what we did there, dude?
Yeah,
We did two
yeah.
very fancy
Did you hear that, BLM? So anyways, he was in office. What here, hold on. Let me see what he was the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Executive Associate Director of ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations. Wow, what a title.
Man.
That was his title under President Obama. Okay. Under President Obama in 2015, he won the Presidential Rank Award for Distinguished Executive. It's one of the highest honors someone in his type of position can get from the president. That's 2015. He got that award for several things, to include the amount of deportations of illegal immigrants in 2014.
Yeah.
So we flash back to 2015. He's the man. Obama's recognizing him. He's a rock star. No heat. And now today he's a Nazi.
Yeah.
Because Trump has him.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I read, I mean, dude, so you read these stats and like President Obama deported way more than this administration has done already.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's only 1 year in, so hopefully he gets a whole lot more.
Right.
Hopefully he can get to 10, 20, 30 million, but in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so President Obama had deported many more than President Trump has.
Yeah.
In this administration.
Yeah, and I think the hypocrisy is that when Obama was doing it, those on the Democrat side of the aisle were praising it, were wanting it, we're saying it's a good thing, like we need to protect our citizens. Again, which is their mandate. That's their mandate.
Right.
The mandate of the government is to protect its citizens.
Yeah.
That's part of that praising good and crushing evil, that holding the sword. That's part of it, to protect your citizens. That's your role as a government official. And they were doing a better job then of, when it comes to borders, of doing that. And I don't understand the switch. To me, it has to be something spiritual. And we're going to get into this storming the church thing.
Yeah. Like,
to me, there's something spiritual about it. We're in a spiritual battle, but I saw that this week. I saw that Tom Homan won this award, and I was like, nah, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was like, that's
AI.
That's fake news. So I researched it, and sure enough, I was like, wow, that's wild. So in 2015, he won this award for doing exactly what he's doing now.
Right.
But he's perceived, only 10, 11 years later, he's perceived completely different. He's portrayed 2015.
15?
Yeah.
Is when he got this award?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
time flies.
Yeah. So 2015. So I should say he's portrayed different by the press.
Sure.
He's portrayed as an evil, bloodthirsty.
And politicians.
Yeah.
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 On the left.
On the left.
Yeah.
On the left. And only 10, 11 years ago, he's given this award and
rock star. Everybody loves him. Yeah. He's doing great things.
But yeah, so anyways, I want to get into this church in Minneapolis, the storming, the protest at the city's church in St. Paul, Minneapolis. Everyone's seen the videos, I'm sure. What was the first thing you thought of when you started seeing the videos and started seeing the stories? Like what
the first thing?
Not the first thing. Where was your heart at? What were you thinking?
I was pretty angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disgusted.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to put myself in the situation. So it was brutal that way. Like in my heart, like just thinking, man, if my kids, other kids I know,
right.
Like the women there,
right.
Just seeing like the fear, the like stress, the unknown, the questions, like you can see all that on their faces.
Right.
So that was my like initial take, I guess.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. I mean, I go back and I mean, how do you handle something like that? Like as a church, how do you handle something like that? How do you, like, you're not going to be able to expel them out of the building. There's too many of them. And so what happens is the service gets shut down, and the people that are attending the service have to leave because this angry mob stormed into the church. That was one thing I was thinking about, just like how do you handle that? How do you handle that as a church, or as a safety team at a church or anything like that? The other thing I thought of immediately was, this is not First Amendment protected speech. Like, you can't go in.
Yeah. Can we go back to, like, I would like to see the main people told to leave.
Yeah.
If they choose not to, you make them leave.
Right.
Because what you do when you escort them out, the rest of the mob will follow.
Correct.
So you're protecting the people, and whatever you. So, like, that's what I would like to see.
Right.
Is you need to leave. If you don't leave, I will make you leave.
Right.
And then you make them leave.
Yeah.
That's what I would want to see. I'd also want to see, like, if you have the ability to have, like, a band, you get up there and you start playing music and you play it louder.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, some churches have, like, it sounds like like you would be in a stadium. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, for a concert. So you could turn it up.
Right.
Or you could literally just push play, crank music.
Crank music.
Yep. And then you tell them to leave. You got to have someone call the cops.
Right.
And that pastor did a great job. He's like, this is shameful. You're shameful. This is the house of God. Like, we're here on the Lord's Day. This isn't a Saturday morning breakfast for men.
Right.
Right. This isn't.
It's a Sunday morning service.
This is a Sunday morning, the Lord's Day, the day that's set aside for Christians,
right,
to worship their God, and you disrupted it.
Yeah.
Shamefully.
Renee Good. Don't shoot. 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 Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out.
In the name of Jesus.
Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out.
In the name of Jesus.
Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out.
In the name of Jesus.
Ice out.
It's disgusting, dude.
It is disgusting, and I will say that the pastor, he's from the pulpit when they first came in. As you saw in the video there, he is telling them this is shameful. This is the house of God. Like he's trying to get people to leave, and I mean, there's no talking to those people.
You're not talking.
There's nothing you can say to them.
Yeah.
So that was one thing I thought of is this is not First Amendment protected activity. And the other thing I was like, why this church? I was like, why did they pick this church? And then I started seeing these little clips that there was a pastor on staff there who also works for ICE. And so I was like, well, is that true or not true? So funny story is I go to the church's website, and I look at their pastors. And this is before I verified whether or not one of their pastors actually worked for ICE.
Okay.
I'm scrolling through at their pastors, and I come to one guy, and I'm not going to put his name on here. You can easily find it, but I come to one guy, I'm like, well, that guy's a cop. I just look at him. I'm like, that guy. If there's anyone on this staff of pastors who's a cop, it's that guy.
That's awesome.
And I was right.
That's
I was
funny.
right.
That's funny. Is it in his like bio? Is it on the church's website?
No, there was no like bio for these guys. It was just their pictures and their names.
Okay.
I don't know if they had bios before and they took them down now.
Gotcha,
because. But yeah, I just saw the picture and I was like, well, that guy's definitely a cop. And
dude, we stick out like a sore thumb, man.
So then I started doing some research and yeah, so one of the pastors at the church is a field director for ICE. and also a pastor at the church, so he's bivocational. And so I guess that was one of the reasons they picked this church. But I think there's something more to why they picked the church too. Like, they picked a Baptist church that, looking at their theology, looking at their statement of faith and everything, appears to be a pretty solid, theologically solid and conservative church that would mirror the hundreds of years of church history.
Yeah.
What theologians have believed about the Bible, So I'm like, you're not going to go into a mosque. You're not going to go into a temple. Like, you're going to pick a Baptist church to go into. It kind of took me to the spiritual aspect of it, like thinking about it in a spiritual aspect.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to look at it. I mean, it is an attack on Christians.
100%. I mean,
thankfully there was no fisticuffs. Thankfully they weren't like, throwing stuff at the congregants. I mean, you got to give them that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just yelling and screaming. The hands up, don't shoot. That cracked me up.
That's I was like, how is this?
Like this, that literally, first of all, it didn't happen.
Right.
And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, are you there for ICE or are you there for, like, it's just confusion.
Well,
it's foolishness is what it is.
It's absolute foolishness. And one of the ringleaders, the guy, just screaming the most vile stuff, saying they're not Christians. Why are they in church? They should be out, like, helping their neighbor. I'm like, bro, you are an unhinged, it sounds like, paid activist who has gone around doing these types of things, and
you're a fool.
You're a fool. Here's the thing. Like, if you are a follower of Jesus Christ, what ICE is doing, and you have to agree with and abide by Romans 13, and that is that the government is put in place for a certain reason.
Yeah.
So you can maybe disagree with what the current administration is doing. You can maybe have a different view on what immigration should be, but you have to accept the fact that there are laws in this country that in order to protect its citizens, you can't come into this country illegally.
Yeah.
It is a crime, and you have to accept that.
So you're saying, as a Christian,
I don't understand these people. Like, we'll get into Don, because Don Lemon's there, and he's like, well, I'm a Christian. He interviews the pastor and everything.
Right.
And
he says,
like,
don't touch me.
Yeah.
Which I would have touched him and moved him away, but that's what I would have done. But you're right. So 1 Peter 2:13 says, be subject for the Lord's sake. So this is to a church. It's written to a church.
Right.
Be subject so a Christian, it applies to all Christians. So if you identify as a Christian, Don Lemon, be subject for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether it be the emperor as supreme or to governors as sent by him to punish those who do evil and to praise those who do good. For this is the will of God, that by doing good you should put to silence the ignorance of foolish people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're called to as believers. And the only time that we should push against a law of government is if that law violates the word of God.
Right.
And having borders to protect your people, it does not violate the word of God.
It does not.
We see borders throughout the Old Testament and New Testament. We have passages and verses about governments and borders and protecting the people, kings protecting their people and
separating themselves from
themselves. We serve a Lord and Savior who is going to have borders in heaven. Like, not everyone is going to be there. This is not a concept that is outside the realm of biblical authority.
Yeah.
And so when I see people claiming that Christians should be for open borders, it's foolishness. It's absolute foolishness. You don't believe that in your personal life. That's why you have doors. That's why you have locks. That's why you have fences. That's just it's just common decency, common leadership. to help your family, your friends, your neighbors, and protect them. That's why those things are set up.
That's right.
So, I thought of two verses I thought of when I was watching this was Matthew 5:11-12. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad. I think that's the challenge. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. And then 1 Peter 4:14, if you are insulted for the name of Christ, you are blessed, because the spirit of glory and of God rests upon you. So I thought of those two verses, and it again made me, like there's this like dichotomy in me, like we need to expel people like that out of the church. Like we need to, like you said, confront the people,
because
because
the worship of God is more important than somebody voicing their view, their anti-ICE views, their anti-government views,
right,
on the Lord's Day during that time.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you can say whatever you want if it's like a bingo night at the church, and someone comes in and is yelling and screaming, like, okay, it's trespass,
right?
All right, but that's not that's important. It's not the most important.
Right.
The worship of God by His people on His day is most important at that time.
Yeah.
So like, I get it. They're mad and they have a right to protest, and you can have that view. You can have an anti-ICE view. You can have an anti-borders view. You can't disrupt the worship of God by His people.
Yeah. And what's amazing to me is someone like Don Lemon, who fancies himself a journalist, seems to have a very inaccurate or poor view or poor understanding of what the First Amendment really is.
Yeah.
And which is wild to me, because you're a journalist. Right. Your First Amendment rights don't mean that you can violate the rights of other people. And just like if I saw one pundit say, if a group of protesters went into a hospital and prevented hospital staff from being able to give medical care to people, we would be outraged.
Right.
And so should we for this. And I'm like, okay, I can see the correlation, but even dumb it down even more than that. If you go into a corner store, a gas station with a mob of people and interrupt their business and interrupt their ability to sell products and conduct their business, that's not First Amendment protected
right
speech.
Right.
Like you are now breaking the law. You've now crossed a line. And so for you to go into a church and interrupt a service, yes, that service is open to the public, but so are lots of other places. It doesn't give you the right to go in and literally shut that place down.
And turn it into something other than what it's doing.
Yeah. I mean, I remember at one point when I was in the city, we got called for a protest. It was at a politician's office, and they went into the politician's office and sat down and were screaming and chanting and yelling. And I mean, that wasn't First Amendment protected speech. Like, we went there and had to deal with it.
Yeah.
Same in this case. People are getting prosecuted for it, thankfully. I think so far they've arrested three people for their actions at the church. And what's interesting is they're charging them, my understanding is, under this FACE Act, the Freedom to Access Clinic Entrances Act of 1994, which was passed during Clinton's administration. So
related to abortion clinics, right?
Yeah. So the whole point of that was to protect abortion clinics. And I think basically what the law said is you can't prevent people from going into an abortion clinic. Like, if you're protesting outside, it has to be in a public space. I don't think you can be on their property, and you cannot prevent people from going inside.
Right.
So under Biden's administration, they charged at least one person that I can remember, possibly more, with this FACE Act for protests at an abortion clinic where they were saying you prevented people from going inside, and therefore they charged them with this FACE Act. It's also my understanding that when they were trying to pass this back in 1994, Republicans were like, we're not going to pass this unless you put a clause in there that specifically protects churches as well. Like you can't go into a church, you can't
Places of worship.
Right, places of worship. So and my thing is, in my opinion, I don't even know that you would need to pass a law like this. I don't think, even if this specific law wasn't on the books, I think your First Amendment rights go out the window as soon as you enter a place and interfere with the rights of other people. But they have this law now that specifically states
but you can't charge someone like there's
it would be trespassing.
Correct.
It wouldn't be like you wouldn't have any other charge than trespassing.
Yeah. What's the grading on that? Do you know?
I don't. I mean, it's a federal offense. The FBI picked these 3 people up, and they're charging them under this FACE Act.
They should also. I mean, hopefully the locals aren't going to charge anything, but because the federal prosecutors can't charge like disorderly conduct. They can't charge trespass.
No, these are legit charges. These are serious charges. Just to clarify what I was saying there. So the FACE Act makes it a federal crime to intimidate or interfere with any person seeking to exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship.
Which I think
they completely violate.
Textbook.
Yeah, this is a textbook. So, so it's been used to prosecute people who at abortion clinics that are protesting at abortion clinics. I'm glad to see it being used here, but it's crazy to me that so many people seem to have a lack of understanding of what their First Amendment rights are and what they aren't. And listen, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a First Amendment, guru. But I like the Minnesota AG, Keith Ellison.
Yeah. Boo.
He says this is an attorney general for the state of Minnesota.
So the top prosecutor for the state.
Yes.
That's who attorney generals are.
He goes on, I think he's CNN, and says, I think this is First Amendment activity.
You're terrible at your job.
I'm like, are you?
Yeah.
I'm like, so.
The thing is, if this is a mosque, or if this is a synagogue,
people would lose their minds.
Lose their ever-loving mind. But because it's a Baptist
church,
Christian church, there's discussion about it.
And for that, I rejoice because that means that we are serving the one true God.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that means.
I agree.
They're not going into a mosque. They're not going into a temple because they're not serving the one true God.
Right.
And what's crazy is if they did do that, just like you said, there would be outrage.
Oh, yeah.
Outrage. Yeah. But this,
yeah, let's talk about it.
It might, it might be okay.
This is what drives me nuts a little bit about the way that our government works. Is it's all talk. Talk. Very little ever gets done. And it drives me absolutely insane. Like even in this, you have a video. You have the video. This shouldn't take long to arrest people.
It didn't.
4 days? 5 days?
Yeah, but think about
I'm just saying. Like it takes and there's 4 people. How many people came in there? 30? 40?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we doing here?
But you have
to identify
generally in protests and riots, you're not arresting all those people. You're arresting the key people in charge.
Everyone should be arrested.
Oh yeah.
Everyone that was involved that walked into that church and yelled and screamed and didn't sit in a chair to hear the sermon or to participate in the worship service should be charged, in my opinion. Yeah. They should all be charged.
Yeah.
All of them. Every single one.
I agree. I totally agree with you. I actually thought it was fairly fast because I know.
Yeah, it is.
I know how government works. Like
dude, it's the slowest moving. It's the slowest moving. Like
that. Even if this case was handled locally, so you have your patrol guys, you have your detectives involved. Now they're like, okay, was a law violated? Okay, now they're in contact with their district attorney.
Yeah,
with all the attorneys.
It's going from one attorney to another attorney, all the way to the DA.
And every you're setting up your case. Like what are our what I's do we need to dot? What T's do we need to cross? What are those things we need to do in order to, get the charges right and do this? Because they're not going to do this quickly. They want to do it as fast as possible, or as quickly as possible, but as good as possible, because they know that this case is a big case.
Yeah,
it's a nationwide case. Like, it has nationwide implications.
It's just here's what I'm saying. You have a local police department. Minneapolis is huge.
Right.
They should have been able to call 911. We told these people to leave. They didn't leave. They should come in, remove all of those people, cite them for trespass right away.
But the problem is, well, I don't know who I think this was St. Paul, Minnesota. So it's probably not the chief of Minneapolis.
Whatever, St. Paul Police, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, that local jurisdiction should have fixed that problem. They did not.
Maybe they. Well, we don't have video of that. I don't know if anyone came out. Like, I don't know that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone at the church called the police.
Yeah.
That
should be your first call. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, make sure people are safe first, but you should call 911.
Yeah.
Someone should call 911.
I did think the pastor standing up and trying to engage.
I like the one dude like picked up. It looked like a hymnal or something, or one of the Christians there either picked up his Bible and started reading scripture like real loud, or he was singing. I couldn't quite tell. I was trying to listen. I couldn't quite tell what he was doing.
It did sound like they were trying to play music. In the church.
They didn't have loud enough speakers, man. You got to pump that place. This would be a good story to keep up with.
Yeah. Well, and then you have the whole Don Lemon side of it too. Yeah, he was with them. He goes in. He interviews the pastor
to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. But there were folks who I have to take care of my flock. Okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest. Yeah. We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus, because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ. I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though. We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why we're here. Yes. Okay. That's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about. Do you think Jesus would be understanding we're about and love these folks? We're about spreading the love of Jesus. But did you try to talk to them as a Christian? No one is willing to talk. Okay. I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building. You don't want us to unless you're here to worship. Unless you're here to worship. I'm always worship. I'm a Christian. We're here to worship. Yeah. We're here to worship. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You have Don Lemon in there doing his thing, and I love the fact that now he's kind of like, and even during this, he's hiding behind this idea that he's a journalist. I'm just here as a journalist.
Yeah, I'm documenting this.
Okay, how did you know to be here? how did you just magically appear here? Mm-hmm. And my understanding too is he referred to the protest by its name, because they had named this protest like what it was going to be. I can't remember what it was, and he's referred to it by name and things like that. Beforehand and after, he was interviewing, the people that were in charge of this protest and everything. He embedded with these people to go in and do this. And this interview with the pastor is so it's so over the top. Like, again, he's talking about First Amendment rights. He tells the pastor at one point, I'm being respectful. Don't push me. First of all, the pastor put his hand on him, on his arm, and is trying to talk to him and convince him to leave. And second of all, you're trying to be respectful. You just walked in with a mob of people and interrupted a church worship service.
Yelling and whistling, not coming in to be quiet.
Yeah.
Yelling, whistling. Dude, there's kids in there, man.
Yeah.
Kids and women, like...
I'm being very respectful. Please don't push me.
That pastor was very...
he was very patient.
Very patient. I don't know that I could do that.
I think I would have probably went off on Don Lemon. Like, what are you doing here? Get out of here.
I would have done that. Like, I would have...
Yeah.
I mean, I think I just would have used my body to move him out, and I'm sure that he would have put his hands on me, and then it would have been okay for me to remove him.
Yeah, it's just brutal.
And then, I'm glad that there wasn't like chaos. That like the
it wasn't an all-out brawl.
Yes, which would have been awesome. But I'm super glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, that would have been
wild. Like a bar fight. You know what I mean? Like those old bar fights you walk into.
Church fight.
church fight. I'm glad that didn't happen. And I don't think that should happen.
No,
one was, they weren't there to beat on the Christians.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was foolish. It was silly. It was disrespectful to the Lord. Like,
and I think,
and his people,
you know, those passages I read, like the one in Matthew, rejoice, like, you know, this, they reviled him, they will revile us. And so I think you have to have that, there's that tension there of just turning the other cheek. And then there's that tension of, no, we have to deal with this.
Yep.
And for me, that's the tension.
I feel the tension too. The tension though moves, it lessens when it's that time and place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
It's that time and place. We will worship God here in this place.
Yeah.
At this time, because
Right.
that's what we do as Christians.
Right.
Get out.
Yeah.
And then that tension can build again, right? If you're outside and when we go outside, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But today, right here, right now, we will worship God. You
Right.
will not stop us.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a difference. Like, that's where I just want to see strong pushback from Christians.
Yeah. And I think the leadership at this church, you know, there was a gentleman, Joe Rigney, had a tweet on X. He said, 11 years ago today, I helped plant City's Church.
Yeah.
I served as a pastor there for 8 years. This is a normal Baptist church. They worship Jesus. They love each other. They seek the good of their neighbors. And the left hates them and wants to shut them down because one of their pastors serves his country in law enforcement, putting his life on the line to remove rapists and violent criminal illegal immigrants from our streets. The Democrats are the party of lawlessness, of cultural decay, social disorder, and death. It's time for Christian boldness, for courage and clarity about Jesus and sin. And it's time for our governing officials to fulfill their mandate and become a terror to evil conduct. They do not bear the sword in vain. That's what our nation needs. I thought that was a pretty good statement. And I'm with you. Like, you know, I'm not saying that we as believers just sit idly by when people come in and interrupt our services. I think for me, it's more of like a heart thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you.
Am I rejoicing in the pushback I'm getting at the same time while helping to protect the flock, protect people?
Yeah, there's a tension there for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I thought it's so dumb too when Don Lemon asked him, have you tried talking to people? Are you insane, dude? You tried talking to people.
Doesn't work.
And the pastor's like, no one's willing to talk.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, look around. All they're doing is screaming.
Yeah.
And blowing whistles and yelling, hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah, like there's
little chants.
There's nothing you're going to be able to say to those people to appease them. There's nothing you can say to those people to appease them.
Unless you say exactly what they want you to say.
Yeah, in that moment. But then in the future, there will be another moment where you will have to say something else.
That's right.
To do them. And I literally thought of 2020 when we were dealing with this and some of this stuff, and we were trying to appease people. Yeah. And I'm like, you will never appease these people. You can say whatever you want to say. You can grovel and you can kneel. You can,
get in pickup trucks
mingle,
and drive around with them.
Mingle with them in the street. You can raise your fist with them. It doesn't matter what you do. You might appease them for a moment here, but at some point, you're going to be asked to appease again. And I thought of that quote, an appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile hoping it will eat him last. We can't do that. We have to hold the standard and stand up to people like this and not fold and not try to appease, because it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You're just going to get eaten last.
Right.
I also thought, we're still in what I thought of this, because you asked me, what did you think of this? And I wrote more notes after I shared what I had written out. I wrote more things. I also think it serves as a warning, going back to the appeasement part. It serves as a warning to the woke church, to the social gospel church.
Okay.
And I use the word church loosely in that. because at this point, the appeasement, like there's a reason this group of protesters did not walk into a church with a pride flag out front. Didn't walk into a church that is openly protesting ICE. Sure, you're appeasing them, but that in and of itself should serve as a warning, because those two verses that I read out of Matthew and First Peter, if you are a follower of Jesus Christ, you will be reviled, and if you're not being reviled, you that should be a warning to you.
Yeah,
reviled
by the world. Yeah,
reviled by the world.
Yeah,
that should be a warning to you. And I think it should serve as a warning to these woke churches, these social gospel churches, that you're not being reviled by the world. And so what does that say about who you are and what you're doing?
Right. If you look just like them, or if they can accept you for who you are as a group,
right,
you're just one of them.
Correct.
Potentially.
Yes. And at some point, two things are going to have to happen. Either you're going to have to step over another line and approve of another thing that goes against the word of God, praise another sin, appease another evilness in order to keep from being reviled from the world, or you will have to wake up and change. Like, those are the two things that are going to happen. And if you don't, you can continue to appease, but people are going to continue to come back to you and ask you to be okay with more. So at some point, you're either going to have to draw a line in the sand, or you're going to have to, or you're just going to continue to fold.
Right.
And if you continue to fold, you will not be reviled by the world. And I would question whether or not you're even a part of God's kingdom. So I think it serves as a warning to believers. Like, there's a reason they went into this church.
Yeah.
And there's a reason they didn't pick a different church.
Yep.
So I think that's cool. It's cool to me. Like, it's something that I can rejoice in.
I hope the next time that church gathers, they can rejoice.
Yeah, I bet they will.
I bet they will.
I mean, seeing that church,
I hope
seeing
that
that
place
pastor,
is packed.
Yeah.
The next time they gather.
Yeah.
I hope it erupts in praises.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine that's going to happen.
I would imagine too.
I wish I could go.
Let's go.
Yeah. A little road trip.
Yeah.
St. Paul.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, three people so far, as of the recording of this, have been charged. And we'll see what sentences they're facing. It just got real for him.
I do like the one guy, the white guy with the beard. He's like freaking out.
He's crazy, dude.
He got picked up, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And he basically was like taunting them, like, yeah, come arrest me, come get me.
And then I heard he cried when they did arrest him.
Dude, I love that. That is like, it's like cuff muscles, dude. Yeah. Right.
There's more coming out about him because he portrays himself as a combat veteran, but I think he got discharged. He has a checkered history. We'll put it that way. Yeah. Now, I haven't verified that, but it appears that he has a checkered history. That's
super funny though. It's come arrest me, come get me, and then you cry when you get arrested.
I don't know if he actually did cry, but I'm assuming he was not as much of a tough guy as he was before. So, all right. The other thing we wanted to touch on, and we mentioned this our last episode. This officer who was murdered. And it was officer-involved shooting. Officer was murdered, and we mentioned on the last episode that we want to talk about it. It's pretty brutal. This occurred on June 2nd of 2025, actually. Apache Junction PD in Arizona. That's where the officer was from. They just released the video from in November of 25. So this came on my radio because actually one of our patrons shared this article with me, shared this video with me. Wanted and was talking about, all these things, like, this is where we're at in policing, where guys are afraid to do what they need to do, and now an officer got murdered. Officer Gabriel Facio died from his wounds after fighting for his life for 6 days after he was shot during this. He was originally from Mexico. He earned his citizenship and became a police officer. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. His daughter was to be married later in the summer of 25, and his son had just had a child, making Facio a grandfather. This all started with a road rage incident where a suspect flashed a gun at another driver. That driver called 911. It was a populated area, a lot of houses around where they stopped this guy in the area he was walking into. During the stop, suspect produced a gun from the glove box, told the officer he was going to have to shoot him, made it clear during the incident, kept telling the officer that they were going to need to shoot him to stop him. I'm going to throw up some video here. It shows the initial traffic stop, initial shooting by a suspect where Officer Facio was struck, and then ongoing resistance by the suspect as he gets up off the ground, holding the gun, and gets shot by the police again. We'll play that video quick.
As he gets ready to step out of the vehicle, he takes a handgun from the glove box and gets out of the car.
Oh, drop the gun! Want a gunpoint? Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Officers then used a patrol car as cover and tried to use a pepper ball gun, a less lethal tool, to get to drop the gun, and those efforts did not work. Burlington 5, west side containment.
Put the gun down! Put it down!
Watch it. His hands up.
Drop the gun!
Gabriel, drop the gun!
Barry 11, shots fired, shots fired. Get down! Get down! Get down! I'm gonna shoot. Get down!
Yeah, so there you have some clips from the video. Brutal. You don't see Officer Facio actually getting shot in the video. I don't know where he was exactly when he got shot during this. And Officer Facio was not the same officer that conducted the traffic stop. So I saw
this is brutal, dude.
It is brutal. Like, we should not even be talking about this.
I actually, like, I was thinking about this, and I was like, man, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to talk back. Like, this is a terrible situation, and we're going to talk about an officer who, I don't know if he's still on the job, but his inaction potentially led to this.
Yeah,
ultimately, the driver of that vehicle caused this to happen.
Correct.
It's 100% on him. And like, that's why I hate doing video reviews are hard sometimes, because like, I wasn't there.
Right.
But the reason we're doing this, one of the reasons we're doing this, I think, is so we better ourselves and we can prepare ourselves. Not we. I'm a nobody. But like cops on the street who may be listening to this, like, we have to act. We have to act.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the
reason. Well, you have to be ready to act. You have to like have it in your mind, like, what am I going to do? So like, you can put yourself in the situation and talk about it and say that you'll do something, and the likelihood is that you will.
Right.
Running scenarios in your head.
Yeah.
And this one is brutal. It's hard. This was an almost unwinnable situation.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that that's part of the reason we do it, is because, I know several officers that personally that listen to these episodes, and that's part of the reason why we're talking about it. But I also want to talk about it for those members of the public who aren't in law enforcement, who aren't sworn, who like to try to help people understand, like, this is why we have to act sooner rather than later. This is why we can't wait sometimes. And yeah, I don't, these are not to second guess the other officer, but I think it shines a bright light on a problem in law enforcement right now, which is we are waiting way too long to act. in some situations.
And there's reasons we are.
Yeah, a lot of it is driven by just our culture and press right now.
That's right. And our training.
Our training, yes.
So we're building scars, training scars, because of our training, because of what the media says, because of the beliefs that we have that we're going to be charged if we shoot somebody. Like, you know,
Right.
like
I think some of the
it can't happen to me.
right.
It'll be okay. Like,
We need to de-escalate.
yeah.
Everything is de-escalate. And I think the problem is we aren't properly defining what de-escalation is.
Yeah.
I mean, de-escalation might mean shooting someone. That is the de-escalation. De-escalation isn't always just talking and trying to use your words.
Yeah. Sometimes de-escalation can be shooting somebody without telling them they're going to be shot,
Yeah.
without a warning.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's de-escalation.
Right. And
This is brutal, dude.
yeah, so you see in the video, the officer pulls the traffic stop, this 911 call. First of all, pretty nonchalant stop for getting a call about a guy in a I think it was a white Tesla with a gun that he's waving at people. Pretty nonchalant, just kind of goes up, driver's door approach. Again, this is not to, throw shade at the police officer, but we have to look at these cases and figure out what
Dude,
can we do better.
It's a person with the gun who flashed another driver, allegedly. Right. So that's your call. Your call, like, you should be pretty high already.
Right.
Like, you should be ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, now, again, I don't know if they had a registration plate. I don't know if he was just pulling over a white Tesla, or if he knew, this was the car. I don't know if did he know 100% this was the car, or was it just hey, this car matches the description? I don't know that. But either way, if you know it's the right car, if you know 100% it's the right car, I don't know, felony stop?
Wait for backup?
Wait for backup? If you don't know, what about getting your gun out, doing a passenger side approach, giving commands from back of the car and waiting for backup before you even go up, like you said? I feel like there were certain steps that could have been taken to make the traffic stop in and of itself safer. And the moment that officer got up there, and started interacting with this guy, and I didn't show a ton of the interaction with the suspect, but as a police officer, watch the full video. The moment he starts interacting with this guy, I'm like, this is the guy. He's stalling. He's looking. He's looking, but not looking for paperwork.
Right. He's
not providing clear and direct answers. And then boom, all of a sudden he produces a handgun from the glove box.
Which is
it's deadly force.
Right
You're
there.
at deadly force right there.
Yeah.
Why
is he pulling that out? To give it to you?
Right.
There's no other reason to pull that gun out except I'm going to kill you.
Right. And based on the call, the reason you're there, the reason you're there is because he had the gun out and was waving it. So even if you don't know that this is the right vehicle, now you do. he just produced the gun. You're like, okay, I have the right vehicle. But we immediately went to de-escalation, and I think probably what the officer was doing, because as the suspect gets out of the car, he doesn't raise the gun, he doesn't point the gun, and he says, "You're going to have to shoot me." And I don't want to say I guarantee. I suspect that officer was like, oh, this is like a suicide by cop thing. He wants us to shoot him. And boom, automatically goes to de-escalation. I just got to talk to him. I could talk him out of this. The problem with that is that you don't know what his motives are. You don't know you don't know that he just wants to commit suicide by cop. And it doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And some of the best training that I've been going through recently is talking about this. You've heard it referred to as priorities of life.
Yep.
They're getting away from that because, it seems like you're ranking people's lives. Okay. So they're going to priorities of safety now. They're talking about, but basically, if you have a hostage, their top priority. If you have citizens, their second priority. You are third, suspects are last. And I think it's such good training because I think it helps officers to properly frame the problem they're dealing with.
Okay.
So this guy is thinking, I suspect he's thinking mental health.
The officer.
This guy's mental health. He just wants suicide by cop.
Yeah.
When he should be thinking, do I have citizens in the area that this guy is causing a danger to? Is this guy a danger to me right now? And both those things are true because the area where this happened is
it's a neighborhood.
It's a neighborhood. There's houses. It's a main highway, but it's right beside a huge neighborhood. And I think when they finally do end up shooting him, and the suspect doesn't die in this case, he's charged with murder of this police officer and still awaiting trial, is my understanding. But where they finally end up shooting him, I think he's on a sidewalk right beside like a community of houses and stuff. And those are the things you have to take into consideration. Like this guy is now a danger to the public. He's already shown that he's a danger to the public because he was waving a gun at another driver. Now he pulled a gun on you, and I have citizens that live nearby. Like, what am I like? I need to stop him before he causes harm to someone else.
Yeah.
And I don't understand where that disconnect was in this, where we're going to follow him down the street. We're going to try to shut streets down. We're going to let him hold this gun, and we're going to let him walk around by a neighborhood, and we're going to shoot pepper balls at him, and we're going to try to de-escalate him. Like this is a deadly force situation, and an officer was murdered during this, where I felt like
because of the inaction. As part of it,
right? At the very,
the suspect shot a police officer. It's on him.
Yeah. But it was in action at the very point of the stop, and again, I don't know the officer that pulled the traffic stop. I don't know anything about him, and we're not here to bash him or call into question his ability as a police officer. I just watched the video and I'm like, what is your goal in this situation? How are you framing this situation in your head?
Yeah.
Because you're not framing it correctly. You're framing it as something that it's not. And the need for you to protect yourself, and the need for you to, before that, protect the people that live around there are extremely high right now. They're off the chart. You are,
and as soon as other officers arrive, now you have all of them also.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and you have shields out. You have commands being driven. Like you have, you're following this guy around as he walks towards a neighborhood with a gun.
Yeah, and your only option is to shoot him in the back because you let him out of the car.
Yeah,
and that is not good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's gonna look bad, which is what's probably in their mind. Well, we can't shoot this guy. He's walking away from us. We can't shoot him in the back.
Yeah. Which again is a framing problem. It's a training scar. It's like, everyone, oh, they shot him in the back. They shot him in the back. We can shoot people in the back.
Yes, you can.
Like, if they're armed and pose a threat to the community, we can shoot them in the back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing illegal about that.
I know.
But yeah, it was a brutal
video.
But
when you're thinking about the fact that I'm going to go to jail if I shoot this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's just a mental health risk. You've made the choice to allow him to keep moving to commit an action which caused the death of one of your partners.
Yeah. But and going back to the framing again, if you're only thinking he has a mental health problem, you're framing it wrong.
Yeah.
He might have a mental health problem. He probably does have a mental health problem.
And they commit crimes. Mental health sufferers. They do commit crimes.
Yeah.
They commit murder.
And in this moment, he might have mental health problems.
Yeah.
But he is 100% posing a threat to the public. He's not in his house. He's not locked in his house threatening to kill himself.
Right.
He is in public. He already waved a gun at a passing driver. He pulled a gun on you. He's walking towards a neighborhood. It doesn't matter if he has mental health problems.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he wants to be suicide by cop. Like, how long are you going to let him pose a threat before he does something that makes you pull the trigger.
Right.
Which is what happened in this case. That waited and waited and waited, and then he did something. He shot and killed a police officer, and now you shoot him. Man, that's tough. That's got to be devastating to those officers who are on the scene that are looking back on this now and being like, why didn't we act sooner? Yeah,
policing is reaction, but there are times where you can act.
Yeah. I mean, you're still reacting. Like
I know
he's walking away. You're still reacting, but you can push the action. Sometimes you have to push the action more. And I think framing what you have and understanding what is in front of you, is so important. It's why I like talk about use of force with my guys all the time. Like you have to, if you can't sit here in a classroom in a chair and tell me how, what level of resistance this is and what level of force you can use against it, there is in no way you're going to be able to do that in a fluid, dynamic situation under extreme amount of stress. Yeah. Like if you can't do it here where we're calm, that's going to be a problem on the street. Yeah. And that's why, I preach to you have to understand the law in Pennsylvania. You have to understand our policy about it. So that you can react with confidence.
I'd also be interested in what happened in that department over the last 6-8 months before this.
Yeah.
Like what happened?
Yeah.
Did somebody get jammed up for something?
Yeah.
Did some boss
Did the officer on the traffic stop?
Yeah.
Has he gotten in trouble before?
Did you let that guy out of the car?
No, he would have been shot inside the car.
I agree.
Yeah. Because if you let him out of the car, it becomes...
If someone pulls a gun on you, if you're in a traffic stop and someone grabs a gun, it's over.
It's done.
It's over. It has to be over.
That's a threat.
It is a threat.
It's an immediate threat. I think you need to... you need to
end a threat.
You need to put rounds down into that.
The threat needs to stop.
His pelvic girdle.
Yeah.
And I think the whole backing up and giving orders again, I get it, and usually that's going to be your reaction to back up. I think,
but a lot of time, in firearms training, you practice backing up and shooting, that's what you do. So if you do that, if you do train that way, which you should,
100%. Okay,
that's going to be your reaction. You're going to do the startle. Everybody's going to startle. You're going to startle.
Yeah.
So you startle, pull your gun, and you let it rip.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a scary time to do that. But if you're a cop, you've agreed to do that.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. So brutal case.
Dude, my heart is it's heavy for that.
I can't imagine his family too. When this video was released, and maybe they saw it before it was released. Hopefully they if they wanted to, they saw it before they released it publicly. But to watch that and see all the things that could have been done differently to end this, and I just think I think it's a good training video for law enforcement for sure. I think it's a good video for the public to try to help them understand this is why we do what we do. We can't wait. We can't wait till we're shot at, till we shoot back. We have to take the fight to people sometimes. We don't hold the sword for show. We have to use the sword sometimes before they use their sword. And so anyways.
It's a tough one.
Tough one to end on.
Yeah, I mean, we got to talk about something other than that to end.
I don't know.
Dude, you got to subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, right? Listen, if you watch or listen to these episodes, and
which some of you are,
yeah,
we can see that
100% we can.
So that's exciting.
We love that fact. We have patrons that support us monthly. We really appreciate them. If you really enjoy these episodes, you really enjoy this podcast, go into the show notes, go into the YouTube show notes, go into the show notes on Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. There's a link there. You can become a patron. You can support us monthly. We'd appreciate that. And for those patrons that do support us, we really appreciate them. But yeah, like, subscribe, share. If you hear an episode or you hear something in an episode, share it with someone.
Yeah.
If you're like,
check out the shorts on Instagram. They're hilarious sometimes. Sometimes they're not.
Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're serious. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in and listening to us again. Gary, do you have any closing words, closing thoughts? We really need to work on our closing.
Here's a closing. Here's a closing charge. If or since you are Christian, worship the Lord with all of your heart on the Lord's day when you gather with others. And do it without fear of those who might come in. And be on guard and protect the flock if you're a man. And do not let the world interrupt the worship of our great God.
Boom. Bam.